love to offer choices to students in my class. I give them choice in how they move around the room, when they need to move around the room. So in the middle of a math lesson, I'll have students that say, can I move up to the carpet? And that's always an option for them. Sometimes it's because they need space to move out. Sometimes it's they can't see something as well as they'd like to. Yes, sir, you may. I also provide them choice in who they're sitting with, as long as they can handle it. When it comes to completing assignments, I let them jump around. So if they're taking a math test and they're struggling on the first page, sometimes it's just that mental break of, I've worked on this for 10 minutes and now I need to go to the back page. Nothing has to be completed in a specific order. We do choice in how they can do their writing. So I have students that will sometimes use their voice to text option, and sometimes they handwrite things, and sometimes they will type things out. It's whatever they're comfortable with. Flexible seating is a big part of my classroom. We try everything out at the beginning of the year so they see what they like, what they don't like. I also give them the opportunity to, partway through the year, if they're deciding that doesn't work for them anymore, or maybe for a specific time of day, they know that they work best at math at the front of the classroom, or they know that during reading they need to be more towards the back of the classroom, secluded, somewhere private. That's always an option for them. They have choices in how they calm their bodies down. If they're having a hard time, they have brain breaks. They can go out of the classroom, have options in the classroom, and they always have the opportunity to talk to me about, I need more time, and we have a conversation about why they need it, what they need. I like to make things engaging through technology, so I use a lot of Google Classroom stuff. I found that through using Google Classroom with my writing, I've had more success with kids aren't losing papers, everything is organized for them. And then I also will put up graphic organizers that they can actually just sit down and write in on Google Classroom, so it's available to all kids. Some use it, some don't, but most of my kids do end up using it. And then through Google Classroom, they have access to videos for homework help. I'll send a link out to parents and say, hey, this is out there if your kid needs to look back at partial quotients division or a review on what theme is. I use a lot of games in my classroom for engagement. Because my students love technology, I try to use it in a way that's not overwhelming, so we have like limits on how often we use it. But one of my favorite websites is Quizlet, and so I'll make that Quizlet vocabulary list, and we'll have choice in, they can play Gravity on there, or they can just do the flashcards, the match, whatever. And then one of the big rewards is we play Quizlet live, and we play it 2 different ways, where they can go to their team, and that's what we call kind of the easier method, where they get to go to their team and discuss, and then when we're ready for a challenge, they have to stay at their table spot and they can't talk. But we do both, so that way kids don't feel stressed out. They know what's coming, and I always do the team version first, so they have a chance to review that material in a safer environment. And then they go back to that individualized setting, so they have practice on their own. I've just noticed that my kids take more pride in what they're doing. Our final project for our state research project, we have a big celebration presentation time where kids get to invite families, and we invite our entire school. Our superintendent comes and our curricular instructor comes, and you can just see that they are so proud to show what they've done, and they're excited to show people what they've done, and they can tell you the ins and outs. And previously when we had done this project, it was just trifolds and there was no choice, and the kids were excited about it, but as soon as we showed that element of you get to do whatever you want, you just see these kids that are surprising you. My one student did coding, and it was incredible. I don't understand half of what he did, but it was super cool. And it was just a neat way, because I never would have thought to do it that way. I mean, we had a student that made this really awesome Lazy Susan, where it turned around, and that was her vision from the very beginning. And she was so excited, she went home and she built most of that structure in one day, and she brought it back in. I mean, it was just so exciting. You could tell how passionate she was about that topic and about bringing this whole 3D vision to life. And there were no 2 projects that were the same. So it was the same expectations, and there was not a single kid who didn't get a passing score on the project. But even the kids who did Prezis or PowerPoints, they chose to do it in a different way. Some did transitions, some had pictures on all of their slides, some chose to spread their pictures out. I mean, just you could see the thought process was different, but it was all still tailored to them and what they knew how to do. And it blows me away at the creativity every year. It's always so different. And it's something that they remember. This is my 3rd year doing the project, and I've had now multiple sets of siblings. And I know one of my students in an interview talked about her sister did one project and she did another. So even within families, you see that difference. But it's so memorable because now those kids are coming back, and my sister talked about when she did that project and how we still have the project in her house, and she remembered the day. And so, it just lasts longer because it means more to them than just me telling them how to do it and what to do. I think I've noticed more self-regulation as well. My kids are really good about telling me I need this, not I want this, and they can tell the difference. I have students that they know that they need music to focus, and when they don't have music, I can tell a difference in their quality of work. And then you have those kids that they realized very quickly that ball chair won't work for me because I can't control my body, but they were the ones that figured it out. It wasn't necessarily me having to tell them. And I think that's really important because as they're going to the middle school, there is more of that, it's on you now, you're responsible. And so I feel like it's good preparation, and it's also a great way for them to start exploring what options are out there, simple things they can do to help themselves be more successful in and outside of the classroom. Plus it just makes learning more fun. I feel like since I've introduced flexible seating and more choice, it was hard at first because I had to let go of some of that control, and now it's like, it's just second nature. Like, will it hurt them to stand up in the middle of my lesson? No. It just feels like it's a natural thing, and my classroom management is so much better now because the little things that I was trying to control were actually working against me, and now it's like, it doesn't hurt me or them. In fact, it's better for both of us if they're able to express those needs. And not every kid has to learn something the same way, or even on the same day. And it's just that openness of letting them figure stuff out and taking that pressure off of me that it doesn't always have to look the same. It feels better as a teacher. I just feel like we have more fun.
Okay, so brain breaks are where we get 5 minutes or so to just take a break from math or whatever subject we're doing, and so we can just take a break from everything and just get ready to work again. It's better so that we can not have to work overtime, and we can just take breaks from it sometimes so we don't have fried brains.
Sometimes we gotta listen to music, when we're doing our math games on the Chromebooks. I feel like it just helps you concentrate.
There's some people sit in regular chairs, and there's different people in the class that have bungee chairs, and that's every day, and then you can choose to ask anybody if they want to switch their seats. And
Flexible seating helps people because I have a ball chair, and it helps me because for brain breaks I can just dance on my chair instead of using clay.
Standing this helps me with my energy because sometimes I have a lot of energy and I get angry a lot.
Flexible seating, I have a ball chair for my seat spot, and sometimes when I'm feeling frustrated, I can just bounce on the ball chair, and that kind of helps me relax. And sometimes I just like to roll around on the ball chair. And bungee chairs, I like to sit down, lean back, and relax. Standing desk, I like to swing my legs back and forth. I think that's very comfortable. And brain breaks, sometimes when I'm feeling sad or need to like get away for a little, Miss Rick has this thing called a house walk, and so she has a timer, and we get to just get a walk around the school, and so get our bodies back on track. Well, sometimes I just don't want to be around people, and when I have a break, and just get to like be with myself and like that stuff, and it feels good, and then when I get back, I feel like happy and back on track.
For our state projects, we got to choose a bunch of different types of ways to present our things, like a computer or a trifold board, or even create a game about it. I created a trifold board because I didn't really want to do anything else, and I wanted to do it like my brother. And other people did really cool games, and my friend Elena in a different class, she made a robot.
We had the choices to do a trifold board where you would put your pictures and facts and you type it on the computer, and then print it, and then you would glue it on the trifold board. And then you could do like a Prezi, like you would type it on the Chromebook, and then you could just like you would type it on the Chromebook, and then people could come and like just read it. Or you could make a game on the computer or on a board.
Because then I can make something that it's not all the same thing. I don't have to make something that everyone else might be doing.